Got it. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question that came was how to be detached when you are closely related to a family member. So she's talking about attachment, and the question
Detachment.
is about detachment. And how do you play a role when you know that there's a suffering and you want to be devoid of that suffering, still be an observer, and then how do you operate in that? So if we can get some practical answers which can be applied.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Gurjot, for summarizing it. What I understood from Payal's question is that she had her own answers in the questions. That's what I observed. And very rightly put that it's the mind which creates basically emotions within us, sensations within us, and the perceptions about ourselves and the world. So mind meaning the thoughts, the constant thoughts which humans have. Um, Now, the way in which we have to tackle what the mind perceives as a suffering in this world is, as you rightly said, Payal, we have to just observe. And
Yes.
observing doesn't mean immediate detachment. Observing doesn't mean that you're observing and the suffering goes. No. You are actually supposed to just observe and not still label it as suffering or no suffering phases. Observing meaning if you're feeling pain, a lot of pain inside your body, inside your mind, and you sense it in your outside world. Observe meaning
Yes.
just know that it exists. And usually what I add in the observations is observe just your breathing and observe your breaths, the incoming and the outgoing breath, the speed of the breath, how it feels, while observing whatever is going through your head in the form of thoughts. So that is what you
Okay.
need to observe. Observe the bodily sensations, how you're feeling in your entire body. So you need not label it as suffering or now, okay, I'm achieving peace while you're observing. Observe whatever is coming to you in that moment. And that will eventually lead your mind actually to detach from those thoughts which are creating suffering. So detachment, even the desire of detaching from your mind will not keep you away from detachment. So that is why observing your mind as it is, just the way it is. Yes, there is pain, I'm feeling pain. That is observing. Not like, oh, I'm observing my pain, I want my pain to go away. I think it's 2 minutes now. Maybe it's going down. That's not observing. So the detachment and attachment, as you rightly said, yes, one can detach oneself from that pain just by mere observation. Secondly, many of us actually get confused by suffering is created by thoughts. So just take care of the thoughts and your suffering goes away. It's not so easy to take care of the thoughts because many a times the problems which people do not perceive it while taking care of the mind and thoughts is they are just actually dismissing the thoughts, they're just repressing the thoughts, they're just pushing away the thoughts, or they're putting their mind into something else so that the thoughts are not coming into the mind. Again, that is not relieving oneself of suffering. So there, what we call it as denial or just ignoring your thoughts doesn't relieve from suffering. So I have also said it constantly. The idea of the law of positive thinking, the law of, you have to be optimistic. It's all a thought created in the mind. So just by saying yourself, oh, I need to be optimistic. Oh, I need to be positive all the time. It's not going to give you positive sensations. It's not going to give you positive life. It's not going to make you feel positive. Because as I said, earth it is inevitable to be beyond suffering on this earth. Challenges will be there. So the only thing which we need to develop into a habit is to observe while things come and go. And that's all we can do. Just observe. And while observing, you reach a stage where your mind is more silenced and at peace, and you only become the observer and no longer the experiencer. So rather you become the experiencer of an observer. I know I have tried my level best to make it easy as possible for you, but I hope it was that easy. Another person who needs to ask any question, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Who is going to ask the next question, or Gurjot can proceed after a minute with the question already?
Yeah. Can I?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Okay. My question is, your mind is constantly thinking. Okay. The situation is over. And, with the time comes, when you're left out alone, your mind keeps on thinking about the past event, which I know it's not going to help me thinking. It's maybe I'm trying to find out where was the mistake or what could have been done differently. But it is just keeping you, making you tired. How to stop thinking that? Whether to stop or we should go with it? What is to be done? Like,
I almost
yeah.
answered that question. It's observing what we need to do. See, because what you said is true. And the biggest challenge of a human mind is to silence the mind, to be at peace. And the reality is, in this world, there is no human being who will always remain in the present moment, be the observant 24/7 or be at peace 24/7. Even me as a person, with all the meditations and all the healings I do, my mind does go into, usually it doesn't go much in the past, but it goes in the future at times. Like, where should I go from here? Where should I go from here? So for me, my challenge is the future. So past automatically has leveled out for me, but it has happened because meditation. It's like you give your mind something daily to think about, your mind starts thinking that. So you're feeding your mind with certain thoughts on a daily basis. Nobody else is feeding it for you. It's you feeding your mind. And then what the mind is doing is, you have fed the mind and the mind is working every day with what is fed. Okay, this is how I need to run, because she has told me this several times. And what has she told me? Or this past incident of mine, it's not working for me. I need to do something. That is what is happening. Now, what does meditation or what does prayers do? You're feeding the mind with those things. Eventually, your mind will learn to walk in a certain manner with whatever you feed. So always ask yourself the question, if I am feeling this, like my mind is not in my control, it's going in the past, what have I been feeding since hours today? Ask yourself that question. Stop yourself there. Start observing yourself. Start observing your breathing. Start observing your body. That's it. Not observing your thoughts. Observing your breathing. Observing your body. Sensations. I have 5-minute breathing techniques. Anyone who wish to want that 5-minute breathing technique, you can get it from my website as well, healertherapist.com, or just drop me an email, therapyhealingclinic.com. Just drop me an email. I will send you that free recording. You can even send me if there are certain things you need help with.